Okay, let me share the agenda doc. Okay, so today is April 13th, 2022. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. Okay, so let's get started. So in last meeting, there was an action item for me to open a doc issue to add annotations. Basically, there was a Kubernetes doc. It actually documents all the annotations used in the controllers, but we actually have quite a few annotations used in our controllers that are not documented there. So I just opened this issue to track that. Okay, so Peter is here. Peter, you want to talk about this issue?
Sure. Hey, everyone. I don't think I've been on the call for stand-up before, but good to meet everybody. So yeah, I'm raising this issue. So on GKE, we noticed that there was a PR that SIG added in August of 2021. And some of our releases are using release 4.0 for the external Snapshotter. And this bug fix that SIG added, it depends on a component-based dependency.
Hey, Peter, can you add a link of that, that particular PR? Yeah.
Do you mind if I add it?
Yeah, add it to the doc or whatever, what is convenient for you.
Okay.
Or just in the chat if you, yeah, either way, it's fine. Cool, you have access to the doc, right? You can just add it.
I do, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm just adding this right now. This is PR, bug fix. Oops. I don't think I can add links.
That's okay. You add suggestions, then I will approve it so that show up there. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let me. Okay.
Yeah, so in this PR, there's a dependency on component space, and that dependency, like there's a bug fix in that library. And the component space version that has that fix is 0.21. However, release 4.0 is currently using 0.20 component space library. So in order to backport this PR into release 4.0, we would need to update the dependency for component space to 0.21. So I'm kind of raising this as a question to see, is that something that is feasible to do to update the version of libraries in stable releases?
So just let me add a note here. So it's actually, okay, that one says 1.22. All right, so this is required. Basically, you require 0.21 component base, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So there's okay, I see Jean also joined. Hey, Jean, so we're basically discussing this, whether we could backport. There is a particular fix. I think the fix itself looks fine because that's this is the metrics process start time. That's a metric that we should add. However, the complication here is this particular stable branch release 4.0 that we are trying to backport to. This was first released in December 2020. That was before the Kubernetes 1.21 release. But this PR we are trying to backport depends on 0.21, basically meaning it depends on Kubernetes 1.21. So I don't think we have ever backported something into stable branch. Just chime in. Is there any problems if we backport like this? We normally we could normally we could backport the if it's like a matrix type of thing, because that's required by the production readiness. But this one also requires it's like a Kubernetes dependency update, which I don't think we have ever done that before. So that's a question here.
So what's the consequence of not backport to that release 4.0?
Yeah, if we don't backport the release, then we just don't have this feature working on release 4.0 on 4.0. So we just don't have that metric. That's all. It's not a huge consequence. Like we can live without it. We can upgrade to 4.1 with a little bit more effort, but yeah, probably the simplest path for us would be to backport this for 4.0, given that we probably still have more life with the 4.0 release on some of our GKE versions.
Why does it need a Kubernetes change, like component change sync? I thought it's just a metric change.
Yeah, but this change goes with this component base. It's not like a change directly in the sidecar itself. It's like we depend on some library.
Yeah, so this PR calls a library in component space, and that components, there's a bug fix to that library call that is in 0.
I'm not clear exactly what, I'm not clear exactly what that particular change is, but basically if you look at, well, this one is actually already going to 2.2.0. So this was probably added by, maybe this is added by the magic side. It's not even like it's just in our sidecar. We are just, I think I remember we added this one in the lib. The sidecar has this lib. We added there. That one depends on the component base, which is the Kubernetes. Is one of the Kubernetes thing. Yeah, so that's definitely weird to, I don't know if there was any problems. We never backport like this. It's probably not the right thing to do. I was trying to think would this like break any backward compatibility or things like that. Not sure.
And for GKE side, what's the complexity of upgrade to 4. Let's say 1 or 4.01? I don't know which.
Yeah, so I think the cost upgrade for us is that 4.1 introduces the storage change for the external snapshotter.
Sorry, what do you mean storage change?
Or for the V1 beta 1 versus V1 APIs, I believe.
Is that in V1?
Yeah, I think that's in V1. I'm just taking a look at the change log.
Okay, footnote, probably, yeah. But so we are already going to remove V1 beta 1. So I think it's pretty good just for you guys to move up. See, we are actually going to remove. Are you aware that we are going to remove V1 beta 1 completely from the CRDs in our next 6.0 release?
Yeah, we're aware of that, and we have upgraded to 4.2. For newer GKE versions, this is just supporting the older legacy versions that are stable. So,
but this metric is probably not that important, right? I think there are 2 more metrics, I believe, 1 or 2 more there. This is just to process our time. Definitely, this is normally it's not a. Normally, we don't backport this type of things. We don't know what will be.
Yeah, if we think it's too much of a risk, then we can find workarounds.
Right. Maybe in 4.0, we just don't support this, I guess, and then try to encourage customers to move up to 4.1. Yeah, I don't know how. Like, do you package that with with some distro release or something, so you have a fixed version there?
Yeah, we usually tie versions of the sidecars to Kubernetes versions, Kubernetes minor versions.
Mm-hmm.
So that like we're segmenting based on minor versions, so users get the majority of changes when they upgrade Kubernetes miners.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, just feels wrong to backport this one.
Got it. Okay. So just to recap, I guess we snapshot whenever we take a new release, we snapshot those component dependency versions to a
So
particular miner.
normally, yeah, so we release after Kubernetes release, right? So you see 4.0, we release this after 1.20. So if it's any change in 1.20, then we are fine. But yeah, this is in 1.21, so this is like post that, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Normally we only, if it's, we usually only backport bug fixes, right? So this is actually is like a feature. But normally if the metrics, if we don't have to like update this part, I think we're still fine. That's kind of because that's for production readiness. But in this case, we also need to update the Kubernetes dependency. That seems too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay. Just say session don't.
So this, I'm not sure. This is not a bug fix. It's
This is not a bug fix. This is actually a feature, because you're actually adding a metric, right? So it's actually a feature. But we talked about this last time. If it's like a metrics related thing, we could consider, because it is required by production readiness. We did backport this type of thing in the past, but we didn't really have to backport like the Kubernetes, the whole dependency. Didn't have to do this one.
Yeah, I'm not like super clear, but this, I remember the Kubernetes Center, right? It's a bug fix for process start time metric initialization. But
yeah, right. Well, but it's actually, you are actually adding actually this is a feature, because it's like you're adding a new metric that was not there before. So in theory, it's a feature. If it's something that they have it before, that the bug, that's a different thing. But I remember when we added this one, it's actually a feature.
Okay.
But I think in any case, I think the main reason is just because of this. If we don't have to update this one, I think that should be fine. Because it's a metric. Metric is important, but yeah. Backport dependency seems to be pretty big.
So I guess, like, do you think we could get in a situation where we do need to issue a bug fix that is dependent on a newer version of a library dependency? Maybe that's like a situation, a bridge we cross when we get there, but like, I'm just curious. I guess we haven't run into this before, so.
Right. Especially the Snapshotter, most of the code is auto tree. So, right, the in tree, there is a very small code in tree. We definitely have not run into that. But normally in that case, so if we require Kubernetes version bump, then in that case, we actually will need to release a major release. So it's not going to be a patch release. So that part we actually documented. Okay, so maybe let me actually go to this. We do have a documentation for this. So just talk about like what is okay, let's see. Maybe I should go here. Oops, not this docs. So yeah, we do have this type of questions. Sometimes it's hard to decide. Definitely, there's a pros and cons of doing each. So we do have this. If you look at this documentation here, this is the CSI docs. We talked about here version. We did talk about this, right? So we talked about patch releases, right? Patch releases only contain bug fixes that don't break any backward compatibility. And then minor releases may contain new functionality but don't break any backward compatibility, except for our features. And then we also talked, okay, if you look at this one, new Kubernetes minimum version requirement, then that will require a major version bump. So in that case, you actually have to go from 4.0 to 5.0. You see what I'm saying? Even like in our case, even if there's a new RBAC, even this is actually pretty hard one. We've found like a lot of times we just added like a new RBAC rule for we added patch in there, then we have to bump the major version. It's a pain actually. Yeah. So if you look at that, right? So if we really have to, like the case you were talking about earlier, in that case, we need a new that requires to have a new or Kubernetes release, then we probably need to bump the major version. You can't do a patch release in that case, yeah. So yeah, if you look at this, right? So in what case we need to do a major version bump, right? The API change, flags behavior, your RBAC, Kubernetes minimum version requirements, right? So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So is this a new policy, or because I guess
this has been here for a while? Yeah, it's just yeah, you can take a look. This is on the docs. This doc has been there for a while. Last time we made a change was actually, I believe it was when Michelle and Chen were here. We were talking about. I think if you look at this part, we made some changes here because the last time there were some questions on. I need to go look at that issue. We do have something there because I think they want to have a minor release, I believe, but we already have a new major release. So that was a question: was can we do a minor release? So it's like go from 4.0 to 4.1, right? So can we do that if we already have 5.0? So that was a question coming last time, but then. I believe that last time there was that was related to some metrics related thing. We're talking about the production readiness support. Then maybe we can also backport that into release 4.0, but that requires a minor version change. So if you look at here, you see we release a minor version. We did add but we're talking about the major release because we released the 5.0 very early. It was like a few months. It's like less than 6 months after we released the 4. something. So just an example. So in that case, we did add a minor release to address this.
I got it. Even though it was adding,
right,
updating the Kubernetes.
Yeah, it's not a patch release, right? So since if you go to 4.1 for you, it's also an update, right? So that's a patch release. Yeah, so we're talking about patch release last time. We made this exception. That's why we added this thing here. We actually discussed this for a very long time and then finally decided to do this, to make an exception to add a minor release. Like in between, it's like after we have X plus 1, we also did a minor release on X. Yeah. So basically, in your case, even if we apply this one, then you need to go from 4.0 to 4.1, which there is already a version there, right? So.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just add this. I'll just add stock link project policy. That's how we call it, project policies. Okay. I'll just add this as a reference here. Okay, so I do have a question for you, Peter. Last time when we made that fix in I think it's in 5.0 branch, there were some, and then you discovered some bugs and you made some more changes. So is that working well for you now? Because there are people asking for a patch release with that bug fix, the one on 5.0 branch.
Oh, that was to fix some of the failing tests, right?
Right,
Yeah,
like the create snapshot failed with that, the exponential backoff thing. Has that been stable for you? Just because I'm thinking about doing a patch release since you discovered that bug last time. Just want to check with you.
Yeah, that's been stable for us.
Looks fine. Okay. If that's the case, then you can maybe prepare to do a patch release there. The for the 5.0 branch.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else for this issue?
No, I think that discussion explains it.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Jean, so we want to go over this 1.24, right? Hey, Jonathan, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. I saw that docs PR got merged yesterday. That was the main thing I was concerned about. And then I got LGTM from Jing on the Kubernetes CSI docs pull request, that first one. And I think that just needs an approval. Right? Yeah, right. So I think that's just pending approval. I'm not sure who adds that.
I could take a look.
Okay, and then the last one, the 125 PR to fix volume reconstruction. I think that is just pending Jing's review.
Okay. All right.
And thanks very much for the help with those.
Thank you. And okay, so I think we talked about CSI class tracking yesterday, and Patrick's not here, so I think we'll just move forward. Warren Populator, Ben is not here. He did pin me for some PR. I think he needs to update the sidecar releases for his blog. So he has a blog that is ready for review. And volume mode. So for this one, there was a doc PR that kind of it's not merged yet because there's some confusion for the volume mode conversion because we added this new field, right? And then but it depends on it basically depends on our volume snapshotter 6.0 release, and they get very confused with this, which I completely understand. So I was wondering, I'm not sure what they're going to do. I was wondering if we actually should not really document that much, but maybe just add a link to the CSI driver docs. Because if you look at the in-tree docs for volume snapshot, it didn't really talk about like CRDs and all of those, right? It was just there was a pointer to CSI driver docs and talked about the main concepts. So if we add all the the details for how to use this volume mode conversion in the KK doc, then we need to talk about CRDs, how you install this, the versions. People getting very confused. So I'm not sure what the doc person is going to do with that. So the doc PR is still outstanding. It has all the contents, I think, but they are just the doc person says he's very confused. I said if he's confused, other people will be confused. So it's not merged yet. So that's pending. But other than that, the coding part that's ongoing, it's on track. So, and then there was also a blog that's being reviewed. I think that's just like a standard issue for CRDs, like how you document that in tree.
Is there a deadline for the doc?
Well, that it's already passed. That's yesterday, but it's okay. The doc person, they know that. I'm not worried about that at all. If they don't merge it, we have the doc auto tree, all the code auto tree, so we're not really controlled by whether that PR is merged or not. Yeah, the content itself is already fine. We already addressed all the comments, but the Kim Bannister has been reading that. He said that he feel it's very confusing, especially like we're talking about the. Yeah, I can actually show you. I can see it is confusing. I was actually thinking we probably should not document that much. Maybe that's actually the right thing to do. Because the confusion is it also depends on, it's not just the CRD version, right? We can say V1, but it also depends on a Kubernetes volume snapshot release. So that part is confusing for them, I think. If you add that doc, they're like, they don't know what that means. And we also we never document that in when we document the volume snapshot feature. We only have, we only talk about the concepts. We didn't talk about like, oh, you need to install this, install that. We just ask a user to read the CSI driver docs, right? So let's see, what is this is the one I think. Yeah, it's confusing. There's a lot of comments, but then he was still, let me see if did he say, okay. Removed, what? Okay, I'm not sure what he means. So that's his comments is he's concerned that he said he has been documenting this for a while, but he feels he does not understand this. If he's confused, then other people will be confused. So I was asking him, maybe we should just add a very brief description of this feature and then just ask people to read the CSI driver docs. And then the confusion, I think, comes, I think, mainly because of this field, right? So this is volumes, the source volume mode, this field is only available if you deploy CSI, I mean, the volume snapshot client 6.0. Right, you have to deploy that one. It's not like you have V1, you have that. So, so that part is kind of hard to explain because he was saying the reader probably does not understand what does volume snapshot 6.0 mean. We never documented. We never documented that one in this part of the doc, the concepts part. We only have a link to CSI driver docs. We didn't even say how you deploy CRDs, how you use the snapshot controller. We didn't even mention the snapshot controller in this concepts.
Yeah. So I think maybe we can rephrase that instead of pointing specific like a snapshot version, we just point to a link, say the version kind of.
So even the version is confusing. I'm thinking just pointing to just a general doc. Like if you look at this, if you look at the volume snapshot introduction, if you look at how we introduce this documentation for volume snapshot. Oh my God, it's very so slow. Right. If you look at this one, we didn't talk about any of that, like all the, CRDs. There's no mention of that.
Yeah.
We only have this driver doc. You just go to our CSI driver docs. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying, let's not get so complicated. Maybe not. Okay, but actually, we did mention this one, but we didn't talk about how to do it, right? So basically, we say go to the doc. So that's what I'm suggesting. I have not seen his answer yet, so we'll see what they do. That's the. Sorry, is there some comment? We probably should hurry up. It's already half an hour past. Okay, yeah. So we'll just get that result with we'll see what the doc people say, because I think we already addressed all his other comments.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Hemant, you want to talk about one expansion? Hello?
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, the blog is being reviewed by Tim in upstream. We look good. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And okay, so this one, there's no update. We already reverted everything back to alpha. Wooden house, doc merge, yeah. So this has been reviewed. I think there's just one minor comment. So I think we are almost ready. The blog. CSI migration. Yeah. So I added a few doc PRs. I mean doc issues, because we need to deprecate all the entry plugins basically. So So Jean, for GCPD, this one, who is should I just assign this to Peter or is that Matt or? So basically the issue is to add that deprecation flag.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
who should
We can ping Matt.
okay. And then there was a couple of others. Like AWS, Hemao Yang, who is that? Is that Matt Wang for the dog? Is that Matt Wang? Is that somebody else?
Yeah, I think it's still Matthew. I'm not sure there was any change though.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm just saying this is just to deprecate the entry plugin. Because they just need to add like a parenthesis say deprecated because it's already deprecated when they move to beta. Just to make sure.
Yeah, I can ping him.
Okay. And then OpenStack just to, okay, I'll have someone to do that. I'll just find some people who want to do some work to do that one, I guess. Yeah, this one I assigned to Andy. Yeah. Okay. So that's all we have here. Jean, you want to talk about anything else?
So I kind of have a question related to leader election. So if we have, let's say, multiple master nodes, right? And so then we have multiple CSI sidecar and CSI drivers running on those different master nodes. And one of them become leader. But since, for example, we have Snapshotter, we have detached controller or other controller, will all the controllers on the same node become leader at the same time? Or it's possible like one controller, right, running on node 1 is leader, but the other controller on node 2 is the leader. So how it works?
It works completely randomly. These leader elections, they are separate. And it can happen that different components have different leaders on different nodes.
Oh, will it cause any issues?
No, unless the driver expects like that it does both attaching and provisioning and resizing at the same node. So from the sidecars perspective, the sidecars are okay, and the driver should not expect anything unless it's weird.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, the leader directions are separate.
Separate. Okay, they are very independent. So any node or a specific controller could be a leader.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I just want to confirm the behavior. Yeah.
Like quite some time ago, we were talking about some control manager that would have all the sidecars inside one process, but we never did anything there in that direction. So only one control manager would be a leader, but yeah, we never implemented it.
Okay, I see.
It would save us some also informers, because right now, I don't know, for example, a resizer, attacher, and provisioner, they all watch PVs, and they have informer cache, and they have separate informer cache. So you have free copies of all PVs in the sidecars. But yeah, if you have some volunteer or intern something,
okay,
that could be possible, I guess.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I just want to ask this behavior. I don't have other topics.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone? All right then. Then that's it for today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.